Although a storm has just hit the valley and caused many destruction to many territories around it, this does not prevent the creatures to do what they have to. Stephanie is on the move. She is farther away from the lake, though not too far. She's here to do business. Since last month was mating season, it's time for her to do the next thing, and that is, she needs to lay her eggs. Because of the storm, the rain has made the ground nice and lush, so digging in here will be a lot easier, in which she begins doing so. This will take time, but she's got this under control. Joining her is her mate, Jonathan. We seen him in the last episode. Today he decided that he's going to come support Stephanie in her laying of her eggs. However, he decides not to venture too close, because when a mother lays her eggs, she tends to be very protective and basically sees everything as a threat. Hopefully for Jonathan, she will not see him as a threat. However, that's not guaranteed. Regardless of that, he still goes to see Stephanie. Stephanie has just finished digging her hole, and this hole will be used to hold the eggs that she is about to lay, in of which she begins doing so. Stephanie has successfully laid a clutch of 5 eggs. The problem is, Jonathan nor Stephanie can stay to watch these eggs. They too have to survive on their own. Sarcosuchus is a giant crocodile. And because of that, they need a lot of food and they need a lot to survive. So, the possibility of them waiting for the eggs to hatch is good. However, the fact of watching over them until they hatch is not possible. So Stephanie herself will have to do something that modern day crocodiles do as well. Simply just burying her eggs. She doesn't want to overexpose them as, again, a predator can come by and want to eat them. Now that they are done with this, Jonathan and Stephanie can go venture back to the small lake. In a couple of months, their babies are guaranteed to hatch, though it is unsure if that's possible. Since this is the next generation, many new creatures that have never been seen before in the valley are showing themselves. Such as this one here. This is a Pachyrhinosaurus. The reason why he has never been seen in the valley is simply because he was a baby at the time, and now that months have passed in the valley, he's been able to grow in a good size, though he's not entirely an adult just yet. However, he is getting there, and it will be eventually one point in his life that he will need himself to go out and mate as well. That is, if there are any left. And close beside him is a young Pentaceratops. Not just one, but 2. This is Julian and Luis. They are both twins. Julian is a young female, while Luis is an older male. But they're only juveniles. Their mother has abandoned them simply because she couldn't take care of them. So, they have been deciding to live on their own together. Since they're too young to fight, they decide to join in with the Pachyrhinosaurus. And because of that, the Pachyrhinosaurus may probably protect them, or, even worse, he might flee, and the two would be in danger. However, they are being watched by predators, though they are small. A juvenile Tyrannosaurus. There isn't just one, but there is two. This is Dan and Rambo. Rambo is the darker blue one. Dan is the lighter green one. They are two runt Tyrannosauruses. Their mother is unknown. However, she doesn't accept these children simply because they were the youngest, the small clutch of the other baby Tyrannosaurs. Their mother had abandoned them, and now they're on their own. So they decide to wander down the valley since they have no use here. When doing so, they run into another pair of dinosaur babies. It's Sam and Eric, the two twin Styracosauruses. The difference between Sam and Eric is that Eric is a lighter green color, while Sam is darker and has a yellow birthmark running down his hip. The two twins notice the Tyrannosaurus. Since they're not grown, they really don't know how life works. Though Sam and Eric know that they are plant eaters, they don't know that Dan and Rambo are meat eaters. So they decide to play for a little bit until Anida returns. They will have to learn how to survive in the valley, and fighting amongst themselves is a great way to start. However, someone ruins the game for them. It's Anida, Sam and Eric's mother. She sees the Tyrannosaur playing with her babies. She sees this as a threat. She stands in front of her children, scaring off Dan and Rambo, and Dan and Rambo flee further down the valley. However, there's no way to blame Anida for this kind of attitude. Anida knows that Styracosaurus, her species, is rare in the valley, and that Sam and Eric are the only ones left for the second generation. And if they're lucky, they could find another group of Styracosauruses. However, they never will be able to find them because they never traveled further down the valley. Anida decides to take Sam and Eric back to their territory. Dan and Rambo travel further down the valley and come across another Tyrannosaurus Rex. Though first looks seem deceiving, this is not their mother. This is Big Bull. He is once again resting in his territory. Because of the storm, his territory, the trees that covered him from the rest of the valley, has been destroyed. So he decides to rest in the middle of his territory. Dan and Rambo think that this is their mother, so they decide to stay there. This could be dangerous for them. One, Big Bull can either leave and ignore them, and they can be eaten off by another predator, or even worse, Big Bull himself might view them as food. In the Triceratops' territory, the young Triceratops and Terra are looking over their nest. They only have 3 eggs because an egg raider and a Dilophosaurus had come by and eaten the rest. So they decide to watch over what's left of their unborn children. They watch over them carefully with the protection of George and the larger Triceratops. With the loss of the older Triceratops, the larger Triceratops is the only one who can watch over them. So the protection of them will be good as long as the older one's here, and as long as they can stand and fight. However, they are being watched. This is the egg raider that attacked their nest earlier. This is Eduardo, the Dilophosaurus. He has been going through the nests, stealing whatever he can to provide food for himself, because the dry season is coming soon. So he decides to look over and wait till the Triceratops leave, so that way he can raid their nest again. But the larger male notices this and decides to stay close to Eduardo to make sure he doesn't get any closer to the nest. Looks like this time, Eduardo is out of luck. However, another egg raider is on the move. It's Alicia. She is still mad at her father for what he did when she tried to get a mate. However, she's accepted the fact that she is becoming much like him and decides that she is going to kill for fun. And she found the perfect target. It's a Stephanie's nest. She has found it, and now she begins digging it using her powerful feet. She has dug out all the eggs. What she didn't notice is that she dug one out. But now she decides to ruin the other 4. And she gets right to it. She successfully broke all the eggs. However, a smell right next to her catches her attention, and she sees it automatically. A baby Sarcosuchus emerged from the egg that slipped out when she was digging out the others. And Alicia decides that she is going to kill this baby. But Stephanie comes just in time to protect her newborn child and scares Alicia away. And Jonathan shows up out of nowhere and knocks over Alicia. Seeing that she doesn't stand a chance against the 2 watchful parents, Alicia decides to return back to the Allosaurus' territory. With her new baby born, Stephanie decides that she will guard him no matter what. They move further away from the nest as Jonathan presents the first food that their young baby will start eating. While the baby feeds on the food that he is given, Gimli the Carnotaurus has been attracted by the other eggs. Seeing that the Sarcosuchus will not be a problem, he decides that he is going to eat what's left of the eggs. Further down the valley, plant eaters have spread out on the plains, feasting on the plant life. And a mother Ankylosaurus has just given birth to 2 more other Ankylosaurus. However, the group senses danger. They all begin to flee. Left behind is the Iguanodon. For the first time in his life, Big Bull has left his territory to go hunt, and he has just killed the Iguanodon. He decides to drag the body further down the valley. The reason for his hunting is closer to where he just hunted. It's Dan and Rambo, who have come out alive of Big Bull's territory. Big Bull is now their adoptive father, and Big Bull gives them the meal he hunted for them. The dead Iguanodon's corpse will provide much food for this small family of Tyrannosaurs. With Big Bull adopting them, Big Bull has now entered 3 stages of his life: survival, hunting, and now responsibility. With the loss of his mother, Big Bull decided to adopt the 2 dinosaurs because he viewed them as family, and now they are all that he's got. Since Big Bull grew up to be big and strong, he will be by the 2 young dinosaurs' side until they're big and strong. And the likeliness of him being with them when they're in adulthood will be good enough for his new family. Back in the Triceratops territory, their waiting has paid off. 3 newborn baby Triceratops have emerged from the other 3 eggs. The whole herd watches as the young male and Terra are proud. So far, for the creatures in the valley. The next generation is looking bright.